Good afternoon, everybody. ABC 24 meteorologist Cory Smith here. It is an ABC 24 weather impact day here across the Mid-South. We're keeping an eye on what's left of Francine now, moving across the Mid-South. So let's break down what we're seeing because some of the biggest impacts starting to really move into the Memphis metro really right now. So I'm going to talk about what that impact actually is going to be. And it's between now and about 9 p.m. Heavy rain, gusty winds, and that means the potential maybe some sporadic power outages. Just make sure that you're staying aware of what's going on as you head into the rest of the afternoon and evening, and maybe keep some batteries charged in case you do lose power. Just a last check, as MLGW reporting around 10,000 power outages or 10,000 people without power here in the Memphis metro. So that number is actually going up quite a bit, and that is because we are seeing probably the heaviest rain and the gustiest winds moving through. This is I-240 near Lamar and Getwell. You can see quite some heavy rain, and the camera's been bouncing every now and then to get some of those gusts pushing through. And this is probably where things are going to peak for the day in the next 1 to 3 hours across the Memphis metro. So let's get you right over to the radar, show you what's going on right now. You can see this band of heavier rainfall really setting up right along the Tennessee-Mississippi border. We do have some pretty heavy and steady rain as well in eastern Arkansas. And North Mississippi, you're seeing some lighter precipitation now. So this band actually moved through within the last hour. Places like Lafayette County up to Holly Springs, Tunica, you're seeing at least the end of this band. So let's put some motion on this. I'm going to show you what's going on here across the Mid-South. And there's that circulation associated with this storm, but all of our moisture is moving in from the east. And as we get into the next couple of hours, we're going to watch where this band really sets up, because as this storm slowly moves to the north and west, it's going to pivot a little bit, and wherever we see this slow down occur is going to be where we have the best chance of some flooding rain. I'm going to zoom in right now on the Memphis metro, show you what's going on, because this is pretty much where we're seeing some of the heaviest rainfall right now. Downtown Memphis, just to the south as well, so South Memphis, you're seeing some pretty heavy precipitation. If we take some queries of this, you're going to see the rainfall rates with this pretty impressive, around 1 to 2 inches per hour. And if this sets up over the metro for an hour or so, we could start to see some flash flood warnings. The National Weather Service, as of right now, hasn't pulled the trigger on that. We haven't seen enough rain, but we'll take a look at the map because some of us have already picked up a couple of inches of rain so far today. This is probably the heaviest stuff, though, that we are expecting of the afternoon moving through the Memphis metro right now. West Memphis, you're about to see things pick up here in the next couple of minutes. Cordova and into Bartlett, Germantown, Lakeland, over towards Collierville. You're seeing some of that heavier precipitation with this band as well. And this is where we've been seeing some of the stronger wind gusts associated with this system. I want to take a bit of a bigger look and show you what's going on with what is Tropical Depression Francine as of right now, and put this into motion the last couple hours, show you pretty much this system very slowly moving to the north and northwest. So the center of the storm still in central Mississippi. So we do have the chance of some more heavier rain over the next couple of hours, but the strongest band as of right now with this storm moving through the Memphis metro. So that's why we decided to come in and do this live stream. We are live right now on abc24.com, also YouTube and Facebook. And I will say, with all this moving through, we have had some schools releasing early. You can go to abc24.com. We have a full list of those school closures and early releases on our website. You can tune into that or go into that after we finish this live stream here, because we want to make sure that you know what's going on over the next couple hours and that you are prepared. So let's pull up the track of the system. Like we said, Tropical Depression Francine, and right now expected to turn into a remnant low as we get into this evening. Still sustained winds of 25 to 30 miles per hour, but notice Friday evening still in northeast Arkansas. So this is not moving anywhere. We're not going to get rid of the cloud cover. In fact, we're going to keep the chance of maybe some showers around as we head into your Friday, but the bulk of the heavy rain and the threat with that is today. In fact, we have canceled that weather impact day for Friday morning. It's really just today that we are watching for the potential of some heavy rain. And if you watched our earlier live stream, notice these rainfall totals over the last 24 hours have gone up quite a bit. We're now up to 2.65 inches of rainfall in Memphis, 1.95 in Holly Springs. Corinth, you're at 0.92 inches of rain. Mark Tree, 3.75. In fact, we saw a little bit of a band setting up right here going into Cross and Poinsett counties. That looks to be the highest rainfall as of right now, 2 to 4 inches of rain already before some of this heavier stuff has moved through. So my bet, outside of the Memphis metro where we could see some flash flood warnings, I think it's up this way where we do have this band that did set up earlier on in the day. Covington, 9.97 inches of rain, and Dyersburg, you're at 0.18. So that's our dry spot as of right now. With that being up to the north, that's expected. We're going to see this precipitation slide to the north as you go throughout the day, eventually seeing more of that up your way in Dyer and Crockett County. But I think another 1 to 3 inches of rain expected, depending on where you're at. Let's talk about the alerts that are out from the National Weather Service. The first one here is going to be a wind advisory. So pretty much the entire viewing area is shaded in tan here. And that's because wind gusts could get up to 40 miles per hour as you get through the afternoon and into the evening. That could lead to power outages, which we've already seen some here in Shelby County. Like I said, about 10,000 people without power, according to MLGW, just before we went live here on this stream. We also have a flood watch for the entire viewing area for today, and that is due to the heavy rain that's moving through. We could see some flash flood warnings being issued. So I want to show you hour by hour on our forecast model what to expect as you go forward. It shows this heavy rain. In fact, the band itself is a little bit further south, so we're seeing things a little bit faster than this model is showing us. But you notice the very center of the system moving through Lafayette County up towards Marshall County right around 4 p.m. and then moving into the Memphis metro around 5 to 6. So that gusty wind threat and heavy rain threat looks to be through about 7 p.m. here in the Memphis metro. After that, we probably start to dry things out. And if you're north of I-40, this heavy rain potential is going to last through about 9 p.m. If you're in North Mississippi, around 5 to 6 p.m., you might be quieting things down, at least rainfall-wise. We're going to stay breezy, I think, throughout the viewing area through tonight. Tomorrow, though, won't be much of an issue. But like we said, this is going to just stall out in the area. So the chance of some light showers, especially in northeast Mississippi, as you go into your Friday morning, and that's going to last through your Friday. We can't rule out some light rain. It's going to be very cloudy in many locations. Not expecting temperatures to get too warm. You can see this as 3 p.m. Some of us still in the 60s, according to this model, as we get into your Friday afternoon. So definitely a dreary day once again tomorrow, but just not as wet. We'll watch for your Saturday, maybe some clearing, especially out west into Arkansas, but keeping mostly cloudy conditions, maybe some light showers still going into your Saturday as the system just sticks around. So rainfall totals expected through the rest of today looks to be around another 1 to 3 inches of rain across the viewing area. So that is the concern with the flash flooding, and we're seeing some of that move through the Memphis metro right now. And that's probably our biggest threat outside of power outages. These are current wind gusts. So these are observations of what we see in Memphis in the last 20 minutes or so. 32 mile per hour wind gusts, 28 in Dyersburg, 29 in Tunica, 29 in Oxford, 24 miles per hour in Corinth, 23 in Bolivar, and 25 in Clarksdale. We'll continue to see these 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts as we go throughout the rest of tonight. By about 8 to 9 p.m., we'll start to see those die down. In fact, if we take a look at our forecast model, you'll see as you go throughout the rest of today that these winds will eventually go away into the overnight hours. So this is 4 p.m., pretty close to where we are right now, wind-wise, around 20 to 30 miles per hour. It looks like as you get into the evening, 5 to 8 p.m., could be where we see some of those wind gusts are a little bit higher, closer to 40 miles per hour, especially north of the Memphis metro is what our model has been pointing here. These dark blues are showing tropical storm force wind gusts at least, and it looks like that's been pretty consistent with the model for today. It's been really north of the Memphis metro where that best chance of the higher gusts are. But I think regardless, with all this rainfall, 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts could cause some sporadic power outages across the viewing area. And as you head into your Friday, early morning, you're going to notice things starting to weaken and the wind really not an issue as we head into tomorrow. So I want to show you guys the timeline real quick. We updated this earlier this morning. Things are staying about the same, and I'll move the cart out of the way so you can see the whole graphic here. But pretty much what we're looking at right now, between now and 9 p.m., the chance of wind, flooding, and power outages. That's really the primary threat with what we're looking at right now, the main impacts, why we have that impact day going on here at ABC 24. We can't rule out a stray tornado 2 to 7 p.m. today. I don't think that that's going to be much of an issue. Most of the instability that we're expecting with this storm out actually in Alabama. So we have that on there just in case we see something try to spin up, but I really don't think that's going to be a huge issue for us. So I'm going to switch us back to the radar. We're going to take a look at things since, like we said, we are seeing right now the biggest impacts in the Memphis metro that we're going to be seeing pretty much the whole day, at least rainfall-wise. So let's go ahead and take a look at this band that's moving through Shelby County out to Fayette County, just south of Oakland, north of Collierville on 269. Some of the heaviest rainfall. In fact, let's take a look at the rainfall rates with this. This is going to be right near Fisherville. And I'll put a amount on here. So this is about 1.6 inches per hour. So if we see this for about 30, 45 minutes straight, maybe up to an hour, we could see enough rainfall, especially in some of these more urban areas where we could get some of those flash flood warnings triggered as we get a little bit later on, closer to 2 to 2:30. I think that's when we would start to probably see some of those warnings issued. This is not moving very quickly. In fact, let me put a track on this right now. It's been moving right around 20 miles per hour. So moving it to the northwest thereabouts. So I'll extend this just a little bit here and move the cart out of the way once again so we can take a look at those timings. 129, which is pretty much right now in downtown. That's going to continue. Arlington 153, Millington right around 2:05 p.m. We're talking about Drummond's right around 2:32 p.m. and Covington eventually by 2:50. So that's around 3 o'clock where we're going to see at least this band of rain. There is still more rain to the south. The center of the storm, like we said, is in central Mississippi. So we still have some ways to go before this heavy rain threat starts to die down, but this is really the first round of heavier rain that we're seeing this afternoon, tied with some of those stronger wind gusts. We're seeing 20 to 30 mile per hour winds, and it looks like those MLGW numbers are really starting to go up. In fact, let me pull that up for you guys right now here on my computer. We can give you the latest number on that. It looks like currently here, we're at 10,508 customers being affected here in the Memphis metro. That number will likely go up a little bit here as we see this band working through the metro. Those gusty winds and heavy rain potentially causing some tree limbs to come down is mainly the big culprit with what we're looking at. So I'm going to put a loop on this, and we're going to walk over real quick and see if we have any questions that we can take. And then we'll go over what you can expect for the rest of the afternoon before closing things out. So let me take a look real quick for you guys and see if we have any questions. It doesn't look like we have anything as of right now. So what we'll do, we'll recap everything one more time, and then we'll close out the live stream. Like I said, we do have a list of closings and schools letting out on abc24.com. Make sure to check that out. We're updating that as the schools get back to us as they make that decision. But right now, we are watching probably the heaviest rain we've seen so far this afternoon push through the Memphis metro with Tropical Depression Francine. This is really where we're going to start to see that flash flood warning risk come into play here over the next 1 to 3 hours, I would say, in the Memphis metro. As we continue to watch this system rotate in central Mississippi. So I'll turn on the larger regional radar view. You can see just north here of Grenada, getting close to Clarksdale. This is the center of rotation right here west of I-55, about to move into our viewing area. So we're talking about Quitman County here is essentially where we're going to see that center of rotation moving in. That is pretty much there, and north is where that heavy rain risk is going to be as we head into the next couple of hours. If you are north of Memphis, places like Dyersburg, up to Covington and Truman, Still got a couple hours before this band makes it that way, but you can see there's been some heavier rain that we've been watching really since this morning. This is that band that's set up just north in the northern portion of Shelby County towards Tipton County, out towards Poinsett and Cross counties, where we picked up around 2 inches of rain so far already today. So definitely the big story here. All this rainfall, which we desperately need. We're in a drought. This is good news for the drought. Unfortunately, it's all coming in one day, so there is that flooding risk, but we could definitely use this rain. And I'm going to pull up this timing graphic for you guys one more time, just to give you an idea of what to expect. That heavy rain next 1 to 3 hours here in the Memphis metro before things become a little bit more spotty. But the heavy rain threat for really the entire city and the entire viewing area through about 9 p.m. We'll be watching for at least the potential of flooding, power outages, and gusty winds as that center of rotation gets a little bit closer to the Memphis metro. We cannot rule out the potential of a stray tornado. I don't want to spend too much time on that because I don't think that's a huge issue. It's really going to be about those winds and rainfall for the next couple of hours. But of course, we're going to keep you up to date. We got Chief Meteorologist Danielle Moss coming in just a little bit. She's going to have the latest forecast for you guys. We'll keep you up to date online as well. And also we'll be on air at 5 and 6 p.m. here on ABC 24. But we're going to end the live stream here. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and stay dry over the next couple of hours.